we're gonna just trauma dump, I guess.
Yeah.
So
this is episode 1, trauma dumping.
Hi guys,
Hi guys.
welcome to OTO episode.
That reminds me of that song. Do you know the Chapel Roan song? It's like H-O-T.
Oh yeah. I can't stand that song. Honestly.
I know. I used to listen to it, but
yeah, so we're gonna talk about growing up with an addict and all of our experiences with that. So
I mean, not all of them. We're not going to go like extremely into detail, but we're going to tell most of it, like overall. And
yeah, I think it would take like probably 20 hours of straight talking to talk about all of our experiences.
Yeah.
Even to this day, like we still talk about stories that happen that like I don't remember or she doesn't remember, and it has to be like a, whatever in your brain blocks out certain trauma. So yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about. How old were you whenever mom started?
Well, I didn't know. You told me that she was doing it before I was born, and then when she got pregnant with me, she stopped, and then after I was born, she started again.
Yeah, that's like a up in the air thing. Like, so my mom and dad split up when I was 1, and then my mom got with this other guy, and he was like a very known addict. So I have to assume that like she was doing it then. I mean, it's not like a for sure thing, but like my dad used to tell me stories of like they would drop me off at like super sketchy campgrounds and like weird stuff like that, which is bizarre, but whatever. So yeah, I think that she started doing it like when I was pretty little, before you were born. And then, but whenever she was with your dad, there was like no indication of any of that going on. So if she was doing it, then she stopped when she was pregnant and stuff with you. So then, yeah, you were born when I was 7, and then your mom and your dad split up whenever you would have been 1, because I was 8 when we moved to the other house.
Yeah, we were talking about that. We were like, we don't know what's up with mom and not being able to stay with a guy like after she has a newborn.
The postpartum must be crazy.
Yeah, it must be real bad.
So yeah, then whenever I was 8 and you were 1, I guess that's crazy. We moved to a different house. Mom and her dad got divorced, and then mom got a new boyfriend, and things just went downhill like fast. Really fast.
Yeah.
And I think the most frustrating thing about like having a parent that's an addict, or like any addict in general, they think that you're stupid. Like they will do it right in front of you and then like think that you don't know or notice or like whatever. And even as an 8-year-old, like you can still obviously tell like the switch up is like crazy.
Right.
So yeah, it started like I would notice like microwaving pills and stuff like that, and I'd be like, what the heck, like this isn't normal. And then things progressed after that.
We moved into the house.
Yeah.
And then she got with her boyfriend, and well, I don't remember a lot from then because I was only like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So I have like some memories, but I don't really have any like bad ones. Like I remember like playing with you and your friends and like being outside and stuff like that. Like that's where I have the best memories from the whole time we were with her.
Right.
So I don't really remember a whole lot from
And actually, like, even when we lived there, mom was like the cool like neighborhood mom. Like I remember literally in elementary school, and like all of my friends would want to come to my house after school because mom always had like brownies made or like popsicles or whatever. Like we would go there and like snack and ride our bikes.
Yeah,
and
like
there are good memories. Like by no means are there like just bad, but yeah, but it started there, and mom just got really secluded. She started like locking herself in her bedroom, like wouldn't come out, and it was like really weird because she was always a good mom. Like she was a great mom. She was like very nurturing to us and very loving, and so whenever like that started happening, that was another like red flag. Even though I was 8, it was like, what the heck's going on with mom? Like this is not normal. So yeah, and then after that house, we moved to that trailer park, and that was freaking weird.
Yeah, I hated living there. That was probably my least favorite place of just like environment total living. You know what I mean? Like the environment that we were in.
Yeah. And just like a story or two from there. One time, mom locked herself in her bedroom for like 3 days.
That was there?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And didn't come out. And I was so worried about her. And I remember like finally I went to open her door like on the 3rd day and it was finally unlocked. And I walked in and she was just like sitting on the edge of her bed. She was just like this, just staring at the wall. And I was like, what is going on? Like to me, it literally seemed like she was possessed.
Yeah.
Like I still like to that day, like almost believe that. Like I know that there were drugs and stuff involved, but like it really was like way different, really weird. And like whenever she finally did come out of her room, she like walked like super straight, like her posture was perfect, and she just walked and like stared straight ahead, didn't look at us, nothing. It was so weird.
Yeah, it's crazy how I don't remember that
That's
at all.
so good. Honestly,
I did not remember that.
I'm so glad that there's some things that you just don't, but
yeah.
Yeah, and then she like snapped out of it and it was like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that place was horrible. Everything about it was so bad. And so then after we left there,
I was gonna tell a story of something.
Yeah.
I remember when her boyfriend came over and they were in her room and I think the door was shut and they were fighting. Like you could hear them yelling at each other.
Mm-hmm.
And we were sitting in our room because I'm pretty sure we shared a room and it was right across, like maybe this far apart, our bedroom. So they were arguing and he pushed her so hard that she flew and her back hit I think it was your bed.
Yeah, like the bed frame.
Yeah, the bed frame. And then you got up and freaking just screamed at him. And you were like, get the F out. Like, don't ever come back.
Yeah, and I was like 10.
Yeah, said your first cuss word.
Literally. I was so mad that he pushed my mom. I was like, no way. That did not just happen. I think her glasses broke and everything. And I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
And I just remember him being like, well, she bit me. And I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, Mom, that is weird. Second of all,
right.
Okay.
You were like, don't ever come back here. And he ran out. Like, he did not come back.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like pretty scary. But.
Yeah. That was. So yeah, and then another day, Mom like came out of her bedroom and she only had a t-shirt on and she like gets in the fridge and she's grabbing a bunch of waters and she's running outside and like we live in a trailer park. You know, we have neighbors.
Right.
She's running outside and I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? And she was like, there's kids and they're trapped down the street and they have eggs in the car and they can't get out of their car and the eggs are going to go bad and I have to take them water. And I was just like,
yeah. And then I think you called my dad, right?
Yeah.
And he came and got us, but it was just like,
yeah, and then I asked him to drop me off at a friend's house. Yeah. And I think that's like the only time your dad has ever been mad at me.
Yeah, right. He was like, why do you always have to go to your friend's house?
Yeah. Like, because I'm 10. And
right. I don't know why he cared.
Yeah. And then I remember when I was at my friend Vanessa's house and Mom snapped out of it eventually, I guess. And she calls me and she's like flipping out. She's like, where are you? I told you you weren't allowed to go anywhere. Blah, blah. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Okay, be home soon.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So yeah, after that place, we moved to another house.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot happened there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that was the worst. I think things really, I don't know if like the drug of choice changed or what, but things really escalated in a bad way.
Yeah, well, that's the house that you ended up leaving, wasn't it? That you ended up moving into your dad's house.
I tried to get you out.
Yeah, too. I know. I did not want to leave, dude.
Yeah, so whenever we lived there, my mom's drug dealer lived like two towns over, I'd say.
Oh, yeah.
And so like she started waking us up. It was at least, I'd say, 3 times a week. She would wake us up and she'd be like, oh, we have to take blah, 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 Burger King. And so she'd get us up at 3 a.m, make us get in the car. We would never go to Burger King. And I'd be like, this is like what I mean. And now that I'm like an adult and I'm in a relationship and I have children, I'm starting to like realize my triggers. And I'm like, okay, when someone talks to me like I'm stupid, it triggers me so bad. And this is why. Because it's like, we didn't even go get Burger King. So, yeah, we go to his house at like 3 in the morning. And mom would go in, she'd tell us to stay in the car. And she'd come back out at 8 in the morning and take us to school.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't sleep because, like, I just had such, like, a motherly instinct with you that, like, all I wanted to do was protect you.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally, like, never slept. I would just, like, stay awake and, like, be aware of my surroundings and, like, looking out the windows and making sure you were okay. And you were, like, always asleep in
Yeah,
the
right.
back seat.
Right.
And yeah, and then she'd come out and she'd take us to school. And that happened like at least 3 times a week. Or she'd be
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, we have to take him spaghetti. We didn't even have
Yeah.
spaghetti. And I'm just like, this is
Yeah,
crazy.
like, be real. It would have been probably better for her to just to leave us at the house.
Yeah, definitely. Towards the end, I was in field hockey, and so I was 13 at this time. Mom came to pick me up from field hockey, but she was like 20 minutes late. So I had another friend, and her mom stayed and waited with me till she got there. And when she got there, like, it was really bad, and her eyes were rolling in the back of her head, and you were in the back seat, and she was like, Summer, you're gonna have to drive home. And I was like, I'm 13. What do
Yeah.
you mean I have to drive home? And she was like, you have to just do it. And I was like, well, you're not driving, so I guess I'll figure it
Right.
out. And I remember I started crying, and she was like, don't you even start crying. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So yeah, I drove us home that day. Thankfully, we didn't live that far away, but it was still scary, like,
Yeah,
whatever.
right.
So yeah, then we got home, and I remember I think she invited my friend's mom over that evening, like before all that happened. And so I knew like we were expecting company, and I was just so angry at this point. Like, I remember just being so mad when I heard somebody knock on the door, and like I answered it with so much attitude. And mom raised us right. Like, we did not give attitude, we did not
Mm-hmm.
roll our eyes, we did not talk back. Like,
Right.
she really raised us well. And that day, like, I answered the door and I had so much attitude, and she was just like, "Where's your mom?" And I was like, "In her bedroom." Like, I was so over it at that point. And so, my friend came with her mom, obviously. And so, me, you, and my friend, we all went to the backyard to play. And I remember watching mom like pull her blind shut. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, she's gonna like try to get my friend's mom to do it. And I was so mad. And so, yeah, whatever. And then the next day at school, my friend came up to me in the lunch line and she was like, Summer, I know about your mom. And I just broke down. And like, that was just it. Like, I hid it for so long. Well, 5 years. I kept it a secret. And yeah, I guess like to finally know that like somebody like actually knew. Because when I would have friends over, they'd come over to me and be like, Summer, does your mom do drugs? And I'd always be
Mm-hmm.
like, no, like, don't say that. Like, what are you talking
Yeah,
about?
right.
I was so defensive.
Mm-hmm.
But like, now that I knew like 100% that like my friend knew, because my mom tried to get her mom to do it that night, like, it was such a relief, honestly, to like finally have somebody that knew. And so I went to their house after school, and her mom called children and youth, and yeah, we both got taken away. But then they gave you the option to go back if you want, and you were like 6, I think,
Yeah.
at that time. And it's like, why would you give a 6-year-old the option? Because we were mommy's girls, big
Yeah,
time.
right. Well, I remember one of the times that CPS came to that house, and mom told me to go to the bedroom and like fold laundry or something. And so I did, and they came in and mom was just tying them normally. They didn't speak to me at all. I don't know if mom told them that I wasn't there or what happened, but they didn't even
Oh,
try to like talk to me.
oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like wow, you guys are really trying
That
hard.
system is messed up. It's so messed
Mhm.
up. I literally like flipped our entire world upside down to get us out of that situation, just for them to be like, you can go back if you want.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
what 6-year-old doesn't want to be with her mom?
Yeah. And there's just so many times that, like, I was in danger. And it's like you know, a lot worse things could have happened. And if they did, I think that, you know, probably now that would have been blamed on CPS because they could have taken me out of out of there so many times.
Mm-hmm.
But really, I'm like, you know, thinking back to it, I'm like, dude, God protected us so many times.
So
Like,
many.
I was on the highway one time in the back seat of mom's car, and mom dozed off and went across the highway, and nothing happened.
I didn't know about that either.
I think I told you, you probably forgot.
This is what I mean. Like, if we talked about everything, it would take us forever.
Yeah, there's just so much stuff. We can't even store it all in our brains.
No.
And
I remember the story of her dropping off at school.
oh, yeah, and she freaking was we were sitting there and her like head hit the steering wheel and I looked over, I'm like, oh my gosh. And there were kids walking by and they like looked in the window and I was like, this is so embarrassing. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's the same time I think that she got to the stop sign at the bottom of the hill and she literally like passed out over her steering wheel, and this woman knocked on the window and mom woke up and the woman was like, I called the cops, are you okay? Like, she was just like making sure she was okay, and of course mom like took off or whatever. I don't know like all the details of that story, but yeah, so then after like CPS let you go back, I was like, I have to mend this relationship because again, like my first instinct was I need to protect you. And I knew without me it was going to be like really bad.
Right.
So yeah, I like mended things slightly enough with my mom to be able to like go over and like keep an eye on you and stuff like that. And at that point you guys moved to another house. Well, there was a house in between that I don't remember at all, so I don't know.
House? Yeah, I don't remember you coming over there like ever. I don't think.
No, I didn't even know you guys lived there.
Yeah, you must not have been talking to mom at that time.
Right.
It was Jay's house.
Okay.
I remember you like coming over there sometimes.
But there was a house before that.
Yeah, the brown house.
And there was
that's what I'm saying.
But in between.
B. Yeah, you came over there before
too.
Yeah. Yeah, it was literally just the brown house, and so we must not have lived there for very long.
Yeah, because I didn't even know you guys.
Yeah.
Lived there at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then whenever you guys moved to that other house, B house.
B house. Which lived, should we say, right above her drug dealer.
Yeah.
So she
was like, this is great.
Yep.
Yep. This is phenomenal.
And the man is like freaking 10 years younger than her.
Oh
but
my gosh. Yeah. So then you guys
Cougar.
You guys moved to B's house, and I remember coming over there one time with my best friend, Vanessa, and
oh really?
Yeah.
She came there.
Oh, and her uncle.
Holy crap,
which is the same age as her.
Oh, what the heck?
Yeah, so yeah, the three of us went over, and that's when mom was like, the baby's awake. She was like, oh, I think B is doing a harder substance than she was originally doing. And so he was outside and she was like, let's go check like this drawer in his bedroom. And so we went into his bedroom, and the drawer that she opened up had all of this stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And like at this point she even had like track marks on her arms. Like there was so much stuff, and it's just like she tried to just manipulate, and that's what addicts do. They just like manipulate and do all these things. And yeah, it was just like, well, I know you're doing it too. Like I can literally see it. Like whatever. So it's like, well, I know you're doing it too. And then, oh my gosh, do you remember that time she had like so much money? Like a lot of money. Like we grew up very poor, not wealthy at all. And one time she had so much money and she took us to the mall and like bought us whatever we wanted. Like she had thousands of dollars in cash.
Wow, I don't remember that.
Yes. This is around the same time. I don't think it was the same exact day, but it was like a day or two later. But anyway, she takes us to the mall, buys us like all these things, and then I remember on the way home, B called her, and I could just like tell from her end of the conversation, she was like, well, are they still there? And then she was like, should I pull my car around back at the church so that they can't tell that I'm home or whatever. So I'm pretty sure the cops were there. And then so after she gets off the phone with him, she feeds me this whole sob story that she has to plead guilty for stealing these pills because this gang is making her. And if she doesn't plead guilty to doing what they did, she didn't do this, she said, they did it. If she doesn't plead guilty to this, they're going to kill us. Me and you. And she is bawling, hysterically telling me this story.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
And so, yeah, she's literally bawling, hysterically telling me this. And like, in the back of my mind, I know it's not true. Because like at this point, like I knew a lot of the stuff that mom said wasn't true. But like it still like kind of scared me, you know what I mean? And then yeah, and then it was like a day or two later is when they took us to Hershey Park and then the beach in the same day. Do you remember that?
That was the same day.
Same day. After we left Hershey Park at like 8:00 at night, they were like, do you guys want to go to the beach? And we went straight to the beach from Hershey Park. We didn't even have anything.
I didn't know. Well, I remember going to Hershey Park and the beach, but I didn't know it was on the same day.
Yes. Yeah, so then literally we went to Hershey Park. And that's when mom was like, oh, if you see, literally when we got to the park, she's like, if you see B getting shaky, he's diabetic. And so we'll have to go out to the car so I can give him his shot. So we're in there for, I'm not even kidding you, like 15 minutes. And she's like, oh, B is shaky. We have to go give him his shot. And I'm like, already, man. So she's like, you girls sit right here on this bench and wait for us. They were out there for like 4 hours. We sat on a bench at Hershey Park. I don't even know if we did anything at Hershey Park.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. I can't believe, yeah, I don't remember. I actually don't remember Hershey Park. I think I only like know about it because there's pictures. There's that one picture of you, me, and mom there. I remember you came and stayed the night, and then they came in and they were like, do you guys want to go to Hershey Park? That's what I remember them asking, but I don't remember being at Hershey Park.
Yeah.
I do remember being at the beach, though. And that wasn't a fun time.
No, that wasn't fun at all. Yeah, so then right after Hershey Park, which we did nothing at, they're like, do you want to go to the beach? And I remember calling my gram, because that's who I lived with at that time, and I was like, hey, I'm going to the beach with mom. And she was like, no, you're not. And I was like, you know, being a teenager and not really realizing, I guess, like, I obviously was aware of the situation, but at the same time, I was still a kid.
Right.
And I was excited. I was like, oh, we're going to the beach? Like, no way.
Yeah.
And so, like, I called her and I was like, hey, I'm going to the beach with mom. And she was like, no, you're not. And I was like, yes, I am. That's my mom. Like, yes, I am.
Right.
And so she was so mad at me. And I understand now looking back as to why. But yeah, and that was another, like, dangerous situation. Like, could have been fun, but it wasn't. And so, yeah, then we went to the beach, and I remember she made us get a separate hotel room from her and her boyfriend. And you, at this point, had to have only been
7.
Yeah, I'd say.
I'd say 7.
So, yeah, so that day that we get to the beach, well, I guess we got there at, like, nighttime or whatever. The next day, we went to the boardwalk. Her boyfriend was down at the beach, like in the sand, and
in the sand.
We went to get food up on the boardwalk, and mom starts flirting with this pizza guy at the boardwalk, like flirting hard, like they're planning on meeting up that night. Dude, flirting hard.
That's insane.
Yeah. So of course it comes nighttime, right? Mom comes into our room. We have separate hotel rooms. Wakes me up. Tells me to leave. You keep sleeping. You stayed in a hotel room all by yourself. In Ocean City, I guess, is where we were.
Yeah.
She drives us to the boardwalk to meet this pizza guy.
Dude.
And we go out onto the sand, and like down the way in the beach, there's this guy, and he has a black hoodie on, and it's like pulled up, and he's like walking with his head down. And we're like, what the heck? And he starts like sprinting at us.
Dude.
So terrified. My mom's like, run.
Oh my god.
And so we just take off running for the car, and we get to the car, and we get in, and we lock the doors, still waiting on the pizza guy.
Oh my god.
So eventually he like shows up, and I remember mom just like talking to him through the window or whatever. I can't really remember what happened there, but Then the next day, her boyfriend proposes to her and she says yes. And I'm just like, dude.
It's just like, wow. That is just
It
something.
is just like, wow. Like, I was like, what is going on? Like, get me out of here. It was just straight up not a good time.
I think I do remember him proposing to her because I didn't really know what was going on, but I had like an idea and I'm like, oh, this is getting serious.
I wasn't happy about it at all.
Yeah, right.
I did not like him at all.
I didn't like him either.
I didn't like any of her boyfriends because they were all doing it too. And it's like, you know, it's just like adding fuel to the fire and it was just not good.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what I remember from B's place is, first of all, the kitchen was infested with ants. The fridge, the counters, everywhere.
Ew.
Ants. I couldn't eat food because there was just ants everywhere. It was disgusting. I also remember, like, well, first of all, my bedroom was a mattress. And that's it. That was my bedroom. It was a mattress. And that's it. That's where I slept and whatever. Like, I'm not, like, complaining because, like, we always had a roof over our heads. You know what I mean?
One way
like,
or another.
Mom would go to any extent to make sure we had somewhere to stay.
Yeah.
And then I remember one night, like, their friends came over and I was just in the bedroom, like, trying to sleep. And I was like, I hate my life. I remember also one time I was in the backyard by myself and I looked up and I saw a woman. I'm pretty sure it was a CPS lady, and she came into the house and I knew in my head not to go in. I was like, okay, that the lady's here, so I can't go into the house. And I stayed out till she left. Yeah. Like, that's how, I guess that, you know, Mom must have told us, like, you know.
Yeah.
She had us, like,
yeah.
What's the word for it?
Brainwashed.
Yeah.
Big time. Yeah. That's crazy though. That's really crazy. And then Jay.
Jay. I did not know.
And Jay is still partially in the picture to this day.
Some, like, my experience living at the Brown house wasn't good. I mean, literally, our neighbors were also doing it. And that's what I mean. It seemed like every person that Mom met or was friends with was doing it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I don't know if she would ever, like, get them to, or, like, they already did, because it's like the people that just moved in next to us, like, are doing it.
Yeah.
Like,
right, of course.
And so she would leave me at the house by myself, and I'm like 8 years old, and then she would go and do whatever for hours at night, tell me to, you know, stay by the window, you know, watch, wait for me. I'm like, no. And of course I'm scared. Like, no young child should be left alone at the house, especially at night. Yeah. And, you know, of course, I think that's whenever that thing where she dropped me off at school happened, where she fell asleep as we were waiting for me to go into school. And I don't know, but then there's also, like, I have, like, some good memories. Like, I remember us, like, sitting out on the porch, just on the swing, because I couldn't sleep because I was nervous for the first day of school, and we were just sitting out there, and she was, like, singing, and, like, aww. You know, so, like, it's not all, I mean, we're really just talking about the bad stuff. Yeah. There's not a lot of good stuff, but there are some good things that, like, you know, she could have been a good mom. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, the thing about drugs is they just make you, like, a completely different person. Like, they take over everything about you. Yeah. And yeah, it's a disease, and it is. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Right. I'm at the end of the day, I'm grateful for our lives and, like, everything that we went through, because we wouldn't be right here right now if we hadn't gone through all of that. And I think that's, like, a good realization that if one thing would have went another way, things wouldn't be the way they are right now. And I love our life right now, honestly. Yeah. Like, we live close to each other, and I have babies, you have nieces and nephew, and yeah, and I already said this, but still, it is crazy to look back and realize that, like, I mean, I guess you were put into danger that one time with Mom running from that man, but, like, it's just, like, things could have been so much worse. Like, that could have happened to us. Like, we were put into so many different dangerous situations, and absolutely insane that like
yeah,
we were always pretty much fine.
even in our own home. Like,
And
mom
that,
had random people over all
uh-huh,
the time, and it was like, you don't know
right.
what any of those people could have
Yeah.
done. Or
Yeah, God protected us big time throughout all of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you guys moved into Jay's house.
Well, did we move in?
I think you did.
We must have.
Because I would spend the night there sometimes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like in the beginning she was talking to me about it and I was like, no, like I don't want to. I don't want to move into another random guy's house.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we did. He lived with his mom and she was not nice at all, but it was fine. And I don't know. I mean, I remember one time I was downstairs like making something and I was bringing it up and I was like sneaking up the steps because I knew something was going on.
Yeah.
And so I just like came right into their bedroom. Of course, they were doing something. She's like, no, like get out. And I ran into, I guess it was my bedroom. I don't know. And I like locked myself in there and I was like hysterically crying. And she was like, no, like come out. I was like, no.
It's so sad. It makes me so sad that you even went through any of that.
Yeah, but it's fine. At least I was like a little bit older and I guess more self-aware then. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, but
yeah. Okay.
I was just gonna say one more thing I remember is one time we were outside and we had like a fire going. We're like, we're gonna make s'mores and stuff. And she ran into the house and I came in and she's just sitting on the steps like bawling. And I'm like, dude, like what's wrong? Like what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And I was just scared because I was like, what the heck is happening? And like I still like I don't know what happened, but she would just have these like I guess moods and like just random things like would just escalate like that. Like you never knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. And what we talked recently about how like mom's probably honestly diagnosed bipolar at this point. Like she's always been pretty moody, and I mean years of addiction you can even like develop stuff like that. So
right.
But yeah, any other stories from Jay? I wasn't really around that much.
Honestly, no, there were some like good times. Like he had I think it was his nephew and we were on the same age. And he had like we were just like friends and I just remember like playing with him and like always like I was always just whatever mom and them were doing was whatever because I had like kind of like a friend around my age.
Yeah.
Because we never like really had I mean, you had friends over sometimes, but like I never had really friends over to my house unless it was like a birthday party or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so just like, having someone like that could just like distract me from, other stuff was good. So,
right.
I enjoyed that. And yeah, I don't know. I just didn't like him. I remember mom one time made me like go to like L Town, L Town, with him, and I like hated it so much because I was like, I don't like you, like I don't want to be in the car with you. And it was also just like mom, like I wanted to be with mom all the time. I was such a mommy's girl. You cannot get me away from her.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one time, dad called her phone and he was like asking me, hey, like, do you want to come over? Like, and mom's behind the phone going, like, say no. Like, tell him you don't want to go. And I felt terrible.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I miss my dad, you know what I'm saying? And she's behind, but I listened to her. Yeah. And she was like, say no. Because I guess I cared about her feelings more. Like, we didn't want to make mom upset, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I'm not. Like, sorry. I still feel bad about it to this day, dude. Right. Which I know, like, he doesn't, like, care. Like, I was a kid, you know what I mean? But it just, like, it makes me so sad. And I think the biggest thing is, like, also, like, aside from that is I feel sad, I think, mainly for, like, my younger self and, like, for us at that age.
Yeah.
Like, if we could just look back on, like, us, like it just breaks my heart that like we had to go through that stuff. Like we were kids, you know. It just makes me so sad. But
yeah, Mom really had us like on a leash. Like we were her girls, and I actually thought about this the other day because I've always just been like, oh, we were just like such mommy's girls. Like, yeah, she like manipulated us into thinking like our dads didn't want us, our dads didn't love us, like all these things. Like,
and she would tell us bad things about
our
like
dads,
any other family that wasn't her.
And she like, and I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, wow, like I had the realization she didn't want us around other people because we were keeping her secret. She didn't want us to tell anybody. And so she was like, I'm just going to keep them close, and then they won't be able to tell anybody. And I literally just realized that the other day, like thinking about it, because I've always just been like, oh, like Mom just wanted us to herself, like we were mommy's girls, blah blah. No, Mom didn't want us to tell anybody her secret. And that's really like, and it kind of sucks because like when you think about us at that age and like how we felt, like we just loved our mom so much. And like, you know, I knew it was going on for 5 years, but I was damned if I was open my mouth. Like I was not telling anybody, like, because I knew what would happen if I did. We would have gotten taken away, and I didn't want to lose Mom. And so I was like, I'm not telling nobody. And it's just crazy. Like, so yeah. And then I remember you, I don't know if you remember this or not, but you came and spent the night with me at Graham's house, and you told me that you saw Mom using harder things. And I was like, do you want to go live with your dad? And you were like, yeah. And that was like the biggest answered prayer in the world. I'm gonna cry. But that was like the best thing ever. And then so I remember, I don't remember if I was driving at that time or if Graham took you with me, but we took you to Nana and Pap's, and that was it. That was the end of it. Finally, well, mostly Mom did try to kidnap you.
Oh yeah, she did.
She really tried to kidnap you.
I didn't forget about it, but I wasn't thinking about that. Yeah, she did.
So that was almost the end.
Yeah.
Yep. And then
but I was still seeing Mom.
Did you have like visitation or whatever?
Yeah, and then that was the last time I saw her because I remember I went up and she wasn't there, and that was the last time because that's whenever they took off to the other.
Wow, so you went there and they just weren't there?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I like was telling Dad like, well, let's come back tomorrow, like, you know, like let me call her. Yeah.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
Just two girls that just love their mom so much. And I'm not like, I mean, everybody is responsible for their decisions. And she made that choice to pick up whatever it was for the first time.
Right.
And I mean, everybody knows that about drugs. Like, you do it once, you're not stopping. So she made that decision, and for that, she is responsible.
Yeah.
At the same time, she had a rough childhood. Like, her dad wasn't a good dad. She had a lot of trauma in that aspect. And so it's like, you know, I just...
Yeah. Well, also, a lot of people do think that you can do some things one time and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, let me just try it out. But that's usually not the case.
Yeah.
And that's why it's just so scary to me. And, like, anyone I'm around that is ever talking about that or, like, even just joking about it, I'm like, dude,
no.
Like, it's not really funny. Like, that's a really serious thing, you know?
Yeah. That's another thing that goes into, like, who we are now and, like, our boundaries and our morals and, like, the standards that we have for other people because, you know, I just refuse to be put through even, like, a seed of that again.
Right. Yeah, no, never.
And now that I have like children and my children are involved too, it like makes me even more like a little bit more strict with like people, I guess. And you know, I have to be like picky on who's allowed to be in my children's lives and just all that stuff.
Yeah, it definitely has caused us, you know, obviously to like we have trust issues, I guess. But you know, but I don't think that's even a bad thing. Like, you just have to be we're just really careful and stuff, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely don't like, like they say you should trust someone right away until they give you a reason not to. But for me,
No.
it's like I don't trust you until you prove to me that you can be trusted.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, there's a lot of triggers. Like I have a lot of triggers. I have triggers obviously with like substance use. I have triggers even like with alcohol at this point. I have triggers with anger. I have triggers with talking to me like I'm stupid.
Right.
And like, yeah, the more I go through therapy and stuff like that too, I like start realizing like more triggers that I have, and there's just certain boundaries that you have to set. That way, your mental health is okay. But yeah, I'm just really thankful that we both got out of that situation, and actually, our mom is in recovery now. So we're just praying for her and praying that it's been 18 years. 18 years of drug use.
Yeah, that's
so
crazy.
The way I look at it is she's still alive for a reason, and God doesn't want this for her. I mean, obviously, but like,
yeah, right.
She's still here for a reason. And so, yeah, we have a little bit of communication going on there, but with addicts, they're manipulating and all of those things, and you just have to be really careful because they develop those personality traits. Those things don't just go away because the drug isn't there anymore. Their brain is like physically altered, especially after 18 years of use. So you just have to be really careful and cautious. And I have children, so I can't allow her to be involved in their life until she has a while clean, and I know that she's not gonna do anything. But she's in recovery, which is amazing. And so we're just like praying for her and praying that this is the final like turning point in her life, because it's been a long time. It's weird too now talking to Mom because we're adults.
And we have our first guest. This is Bubby.
Hello. Please tell us your name.
Bubby.
Hi, Bubby. Nice to meet you.
I love how deep his voice is. At the ripe age of, what is he, 5 months?
Yep.
Oh, it's different talking to her since we're adults.
Yeah. It's very different because we're grown-ups now, and we left her when we were children, and so she doesn't know us. We don't know her. Yeah. That's what Bubby has to say about it.
Yeah, there's our trauma.
Yeah, there's more.
Oh my gosh.
There's a lot more.
Yeah, but that's just some of our experiences and what it's like. And
I just want to say that, like, if you... Bubby has stuff to say.
Yeah.
If you are, you could be a 13-year-old girl coming across this video, and just know that like there is help out there, and you don't have to stay in this situation. You also don't have to follow in your parents' footsteps. You can use this as a learning experience. Bub,
he's being bad.
You can use this as a learning experience, and use this as like a guide of what not to be. And if you need any advice, or you just want to talk, or anything at all, you can message us, and we're absolutely here to do that. So
yeah, our main goal of this whole thing is to help people. Like, we want to give other people a voice and know that, you're not alone, and maybe some of the things that you're going through. And there's a ghost in the house.
This can just be
and if this actually does go anywhere, it would be really cool to have like guests on.
It would.
Like, come on over and let's talk.
Yeah, if you have like if you want to share your life story, you're more than welcome to come and talk on our platform, and we would love to talk with you and share our experiences and stuff like that. And there's something I want to say.
it doesn't even have to be about like, you know, we're going to be talking about a lot of other things.
Yeah.
I mean, just like, I think, you know, some of, you know, the relationships, because obviously our lives like still went on after, you know, mom left.
Mhm.
There's a lot of stuff that has happened since then.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've had different kinds of, I guess, relationships and friendships. And, you know, she's pretty much married. I don't have anyone. And so we'll be talking about that kind of stuff and motherhood. And if you want to talk about that or,
Yep.
you know, just anything really. We'll be talking about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, anything. We just, you know, started this way and named it what we named it because at the end of the day, your childhood has a lot to do with who you become and how you handle the rest of your life. So
yeah,
that's why we named it Overcoming the Odds and why we just trauma dumped on you. So there's that.
You can come trauma dump too.
Yeah. So yeah, I can close in prayer again.
Okay.
Unless you want to do it.
No,
okay.
I can't.
Okay. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the experiences that you allowed us to have in life and for protecting us through all of those hardships. Thank you for giving us the life that we have now and, you know, quite literally saving us from such awful situations. And we just pray that we reach people that are, you know, if there's anybody in need of help or guidance or support or just encouragement to get out of a situation, we pray that we reach those people. We pray that our platform can also be a safe place for people to come and tell their stories or ask us questions or, you know, whatever it needs to be, whatever you want it to be. We thank you so much for just giving us a voice and being able to tell our stories. And we pray for anyone that needs to speak about theirs. So thank you for everything that you have given us, Father. Amen.
Amen. And Bubby says amen too.
He really was a baba. So
thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. See ya on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.